Very good evening to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, and it gives me a great pleasure to address this gathering as one of the finalists of IET Young Woman Engineer of the Year 2021. And women, the underrepresented minority in the field of engineering. This will be the topic of discussion today, and I am sure we will get to hear many interesting facts about this throughout the course of the day. And I thought of sharing my insights on the women engineers Sri Lanka and where do we stand right now and what are we going to do in order to popularize engineering in Sri Lanka among Sri Lankan women. And before starting, I thought of sharing a little bit about my journey as an engineer, which started in 2007 when I got admission to the Department of Earth Resources Engineering, University of Moratuwa, which is a bit of a lesser known engineering field specifically for a girl. And then by the time I ended my studies, I realized that I want to pursue a career in the research, area of research, because that's something I realized that I have a passion. So I work as a research scientist at the National Research Organization, and then I received a scholarship to study my PhD in the area of environmental science in the Department of Engineering and School of Engineering and Science, Victoria University, Melbourne. And then after finishing my studies, I realized that actually I want to come back to my home country, even though I was receiving many opportunities to settle and work in Australia. I want to do something to my own country and to the place where I received my free education. And I was lucky enough to get appointed as a senior lecturer in the Department of Forestry and Environmental Science, Faculty of Applied Sciences, University of Shrivi Abhayawardana. So that is my story in brief as an engineer. And when we say the term engineer, what comes to our mind is someone who works in harsh conditions in field and someone who works in with so many people. Of course, I get to do all these things, but my career as an engineer in academia is little bit different. I get to work in three major aspects. One being a teacher. I get to do lectures for the undergraduate and postgraduate students, and then the second aspect is research, and most rewarding part of my career where we get to contribute to national development in various ways. Then moving on to the discussion today. It is why do we have less female representation in STEM fields specifically. Today we are talking about the engineering field. And then if you look at the Sri Lankan scenario as an academic, I like to talk with more facts and figures. So I took some time to research about what are the current status of the STEM discipline or the student enrollment in these streams. And first I took some statistics about the school education, and we can clearly see there is a disparity between men and women, male and female population when it comes to the selection of these technical disciplines. Then similarly, when it comes to the engineering admissions to the engineering colleges, we can still see even us being in the 21st century, still there is a very high difference, significant difference between male and female populations. So actually there is a problem here which we have already recognized, and we need to see how we can address this problem. And having said all of these things, why do we need more women engineers to represent, more women to represent the field of engineering? First of all, you all have heard, must have heard the popular saying, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Of course, men and women are two distinct people who possess different skill sets. They are unique in their talents, and also they can bring so much diversity to the table. So, we need to think of getting more women to the field, to a field like engineering, which needs so much creativity. Other than that, women we know are naturally multitaskers. They are very good with multitasking, and they can do multiple things simultaneously and still be very successful with that. And the next reason is that women naturally are born as leaders. They are strategic, they are diplomatic, and they are quite good at conflict resolution. So, we can get their contribution better when it comes to professions like engineering. And finally, the most important reason for me why we need engineers, women engineers more, is that they can inspire the next generation of young women engineers. As in right now, I cannot be proud of, I can't be more proud of myself by thinking that one day I get to be one of the eminent, one of the eminent lady engineers in front of me, like how they are sitting in front of me today. I can be there someday and inspire the next generation of female engineers. Having said all of this, why do we still have very low numbers of women in this field? Of course, there are different reasons, but according to me, according to my viewpoint, the major reason, as I see, is the self-doubt or the fear of unknown. We also call this the imposter syndrome, which I used to suffer for a long period of time. Until recent, I used to suffer from the imposter syndrome, where I was so doubtful that whether I will be able to perform well when I get a job, whether I will be able to perform well compared to my male colleagues. And this is a psychology that we need to break if we need young girls to enter this demanding field. And as young women engineers, we should know that we are heading towards a post-pandemic era, that we have to play a vital role for the economic, environmental and social development of our country. And being an academic, one of the most rewarding things that I get to do is I get the chance to inspire a broader audience, especially young students who are entering STEM disciplines. And we get to conduct workshops for the young women who are entering the STEM workforce. And also I do contribute by disseminating knowledge on my expert area, and as well as I do closely work with the Department of Earth Resources Engineering, where I got my undergraduate degree. The reason is that this is again, many students enter this field without knowing what they get to do. So, I do career development programs for this department to inspire more students and for them, for their future career development. And also, since I am also an academic and a researcher, I get to organize international conferences where students can present their work, and it creates platforms for students to express or to improve their analytical skills and presentation skills as well, and to present their work for the experts in the fields. Finally, talking about my vision in popularizing engineering among women, I think I'm presenting this as a point of view of an academic, which is something I think should start from the ground level. And we just saw where the problem lies. It lies in the ground level, So we need to address it from the root itself. So we have to start from the secondary education itself. So we need to start by raising awareness among schoolgirls, especially about selecting, how to select the streams, their A-level streams, and we can get more women engineers as role models, and as during the university admission itself as well, we can get them aware about the course selection and the career pathways that they have. And university first and second years, as I think, we should give them more opportunities to develop their essential soft skills, such as for a girl, they need to know how to present themselves as a professional, and also the grooming and public speaking and all these things. We can help them improving within the first and second years. And then third and fourth years, we can focus on breaking their psychological barrier by by giving them opportunity to develop their confidence on their scientific ability. So this is where we get to break the imposter syndrome that they have, and we don't stop from that. We have to think of their early career and mid career as well. So early career is somewhere that they could get burnt out because some life changes can happen during this stage, as in they can get married, they can have children, and still they have to keep their professions alive as well. So we need to focus on that stage. And then in the mid career, we should focus on how to improve their skills as leaders, because if they have sustained the early career in engineering, which means in the mid career, they need to focus on how to become leaders, how to take leadership positions in their work. So that is my vision to popularize engineering among women. And finally, I would like to end my speech by sharing one of my own personal experience. Since I have selected the degree program, Earth Resources Engineering, that was one of the lesser known engineering fields back then. And when I was going to select that, I have been advised by many to not to select this field because they thought it will not be a good engineering field for a girl. And they said, like, what are you going to do, or what will be your future career if you select this? Will you be able to sustain in the field work? And even after hearing all those, I set my heart on following engineering, because that is what I wanted to do. And I cannot be proud of myself today because I followed my passion and I made a different career out of that. So my advice to the aspiring young women engineers is that do not be afraid to swim against the tide. If you keep swimming long enough, you will develop muscles that you never know which existed. Thank you.